At this point in life, you've been around the block a few times. First on your own training wheels, then laundry, kids, and perhaps grandkids. Now you're ready to ride into the third cycle of your life, Act 3, a rewarding retirement. Without careful planning, the ride ahead will be an uphill battle. Jim Lineweaver is here with tips to prepare financially and emotionally for the ride ahead. Jim is well trained to coach us. He's a certified financial planner professional with the Lineweaver Financial Group. Welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Well, I mean, we've got 401ks and IRA. Haven't we been training for most of our working life for retirement?
I guess some people just don't listen or don't like the training that they're getting because unfortunately there's so many vehicles that people can take advantage of, but for some reason they're not doing it. And you know, you have this paycheck at work, but at some point in time when you retire, you're going to have to create your own paycheck. As a matter of fact, we find a lot of people today aren't even taking the free match on their 401ks, and that's free money that they're giving up from their employer. Because with this paycheck, you know, you're going to have to maybe take into account your Social Security, your pension, but for a lot of people, it's just not enough money. You also have to be able to plan for unexpected things, you know, the car breaks down or home repairs.
Which always happen.
It is. And then one thing a lot of people forget about is this health care issue, which is huge. As a matter of fact, according to Fidelity Benefit Consulting, they recently came out with a study and they said for people that are age 65, a married couple is going to need $220,000 in today's dollars just for health care, let alone anything else. Yeah. So it's a big, huge expense in retirement.
Okay, but you've got some steps to help us begin that transition and plan for retirement. And beginning of that is making a budget.
It is, and if people don't know where to get these forms, they can go right to our website.
So we've got an example of the form that's on your website there. Yeah,
so it's a monthly budget. So what you're going to do is list all your income and then your expenses, and hopefully your income exceeds those things
Always
that you're
a nice
spending.
thing, yes.
Make sure it's a positive number. But just a place to start, because you got to stick with the basics, and a great way to just get started. And then what we also do on the website is we have a balance sheet, which is there, and that's going to list all your assets.
I got the form for that.
Yeah, so it's going to list all your assets, your investments, your checking, your savings.
You can kind of see where you're at at that time, right?
Exactly, kind of a snapshot, if you will. And then you're also going to list your liabilities. And every year it's a good thing to do, because all you need to do is try to get, you know, more and more assets under your belt, or continue to pay down that debt, especially in this low interest rate environment, to really make a big difference in your future.
All right, so that's step one. The next step is asset allocation. What does that mean?
Well, this is where you have to be very careful about the mix of investments that you're using over time. Because, you know, when you're younger, you can, you know, afford maybe a lot of the volatility in the stock market. But as you get closer to retirement, you really want to think about income producing investments and stuff that could kind of minimize some of that volatility, because you're going to have to rely on that money in retirement, and you want to make sure you're not going to outlive your money.
Sure.
So a good rule of thumb here is to just look at 100 minus your age, which is all the amount of money that you want to have at risk. So let's say you're 70 years old, you can have about 30% of your money at risk, but the other portion should actually be able to be pretty steady and provide some type of income and some things that you can rely on in retirement.
Okay. And we have a step 3, and that's estate planning.
Yes, and this is something that you want to double check and review every 3 to 5 years. So this could be your will, your powers of attorney for healthcare and financial purposes. This could be any type of trust that you may have. And a lot of people forget beneficiaries. Any type of change event in your life, whether it be, you know, a marriage or a divorce or, gosh forbid, a death, you got to update all your beneficiaries. It can provide a huge headache for your family if you don't.
And aside from financial planning, there's also the personal side of preparing for retirement.
There is, which is, you've had a lot of doctors on the show about this, even today, but it's about taking care of your health. Because really, when you look at it, you could have all the money in the world, but if you don't have your health, what good is it? So make sure you take care of yourself, and that way you can really try to have a good, prosperous retirement.
All right, great tips. Your Act 3 ride could open up the most rewarding vistas if you choose the right path. Following Jim's tips can lead the way. For more help, give Jim a call. His number's next.
For more information, call the Lineweaver Financial Group at 1-888-313-4009 or click to www.lineweaver.net.